From the MTSU Hall of Fame, it's Blue Raider Extra Point.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin, joined with Noah Brady and with Nick Frazier, sitting here in the MTSU Hall of Fame, ready to kick off another game day and keep you updated with all football action coming here soon. First up, let's go ahead and kick it off. Lori Hickey has this week's starting lineup.
The starting lineup.
Week 1 of college football is back, and what an amazing week it was. I'm Lori Hickey, and let's get into the starting lineup for this week. This past weekend, Bama faced Miami. Within the first 3 minutes of the first quarter, Bryce Young completed a 37-yard pass to John Mechie for a touchdown to cap off a 67-yard drive. This weekend, Bama is set to host Mercer, while Miami will hold App State. The matchup of old rivals, Clemson and Georgia, played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium this past weekend. Clemson could not get their offense going and ended up taking a hard loss to Georgia. They'll be looking for a win this weekend as they face South Carolina with an at-home advantage. Georgia, on the other hand, will be facing UAB in hopes of keeping their incredible momentum from this past weekend going after jumping up 3 spots to number 2. That this past weekend as UCLA defeated number 16 LSU in the Rose Bowl, controlling the second half on both sides of the ball and delivering the coach's biggest victory of his UCLA tenure. It is the first time in 13 years a Pac-12 team has defeated a ranked Southeastern Conference squad. Likewise, UCLA was the last to do it when they beat Tennessee in 2008. The Bruins could be ranked for the first time since September 10th, 2017, when the top 25 is released on Tuesday.
Thanks, Lori. Those are some great matchups. But coming up next is the Big Blue Review. So, Noah, what you got for us?
This week on Big Blue Review, we're going to take a look at MTSU's women's soccer team, huge weekend that they're coming off of, and we're also going to recap MTSU's football team, big weekend against Monmouth University.
The Big Blue Review.
Past Sunday, as Lady Raiders soccer team defeated Houston Baptist 3-1, senior Lady Raider forward Peyton DePriest put her name in the CUSA record books and was named Player of the Week after recording her 50th career goal. This set a new all-time CUSA record in that category. The Lady Raiders improved to 3-2-1 on the season and are looking to gain their 4th win on the year and close out their homestand strong as they take on ETSU in Raider Country on Friday. The Blue Raider football team took the field for the first time this Saturday night as they hosted Monmouth University at Floyd Stadium to kick off the 2021 season. The Raiders' defense was disruptive early on, and the first play of the second quarter set up Jalen Lane for a 70-yard punt return to put the Raiders out in front, 14-7. The Raiders would again capitalize on another Hawks turnover that would set up a Bailey Hockman to Jalen Lane touchdown pass with only a couple minutes left in the half. The second half was dominated by the Raiders as they only allowed 1 second-half score on defense and posted 29 points, including 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns to lead to a final score of 50-15 in favor of your Rowdy Blue Raiders. Quarterback Bailey Hockman finished the game 17 for 22 with 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. Lane on 4 receptions posted 93 receiving yards, and DQ Thomas had 9 tackles on the night. Coach Stockstill and the MT football squad heads to Virginia Tech this week for their 1 Power 5 matchup of the season in a Week 2 showdown against the Hokies.
So obviously 50 points against Monmouth University, that's got offensive explosion written all over it. Nick, what did you have to say about that?
Well, you know, the game started out real slow in the first quarter, but I will have to say this offense is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know where this energy came from. It's a whole new team.
You know where it came from?
Where?
I can tell you exactly where. Coach Brent Dearman, man, has he worked this team. I mean, you saw the offense. I don't have to say that much more.
Yeah.
But hey, we have to go take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll go around the CUSA. Stay tuned for more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
You're watching Blue Raider Extra Point.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And welcome back, everybody, to Blue Raider Extra Point. I'm Abigail Martin with Noah Brady and with Nick Frazier, Man-O-Man Conference USA. Nick, go ahead and take us around this USA.
We got some good games this weekend, two of them specifically. Western Kentucky versus Army, a very good triple option offense. Then you also got Georgia Southern, who is a run-heavy team, versus FAU. Those two matchups, be on the lookout for a lot of offensive gameplay from two of those teams.
Around the CUSA.
Western Kentucky started off the season red hot, led by transfer QB Bailey Zappi. In his Conference USA debut, he threw for 424 yards, 1 interception, and 7 touchdowns. His main target out wide, Jareth Stearns, had 7 receptions for 102 yards with 2 touchdowns. This is a high-powered, action-packed offense that looks to extend their success. Army, on the other hand, who as well are coming off a big Week 1 win, looked to pacify the Western Kentucky offense by keeping them off the field. Army, who are known for their triple option offense, rushed for 258 yards on 67 carries and 3 different rushing touchdown scores, all while maintaining 70% time of possession. This should be an interesting Week 2 matchup. The other Week 2 matchup is Georgia Southern versus Florida Atlantic. Georgia Southern, who are also a run-heavy team, have a running back, Logan Wright, who rushed for nearly 200 yards on the ground with 178 yards and a touchdown. Florida Atlantic in Week 1 allowed 400 yards total rushing. But don't let the run game fool you. Georgia Southern can easily throw the ball over the top. With FAU secondary in Week 1 only allowing 153 yards in the air with 2 interceptions, intend on Georgia Southern running the ball more often than not. If FAU's quarterback, N'Kosi Perry, is able to establish the passing game early, we might have a closer game than expected.
No, what do you think about these games this weekend?
Well, Nick, for that Army WKU game, you're going to see WKU coming into Army's house. These are two very run-heavy offenses. On some of these plays, you're not going to know who's going to end up with the ball. It's going to be hard for the camera guys to follow them. It's going to be a long night for them, but I'm excited to tune into this one.
Army is a huge offensive threat. They are also very dominant with the ball, and that's something that we have talked about a little bit as well. But I have to look at Western Kentucky as well. They have had a huge offensive success that is running through their quarterback, which is exactly what you could wish for as a Hilltopper. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at all the Conference USA matchups for this weekend.
So, Noah, what do you think about those two games this week, man?
Well, with Army and Western Kentucky specifically, Western Kentucky having to come into Army's house, two very run-heavy offenses, you just never know who's going to end up with the ball, man. That's one I'm really excited to see come this afternoon.
Absolutely. Army is very dominant and also very threatening, but also looking on Western Kentucky's side, I hate to admit it, with them being a rival of MTSU, or the rival, I should say, quarterback is very successful, like 80% passing grade. So that's the game that I'm very excited to look forward to. However, let's go ahead and send it over. Caroline Colvard has this week's Blue Raider Spotlight.
Fans were ready for a great game against Monmouth on Saturday, and that is exactly what the Blue Raiders had in store. The first touchdown was scored by freshman wide receiver Jalen Lane, who was responsible for a 70-yard punt return. Offense did not slow down from there. Sophomore wide receiver DJ England Chisholm caught a beautiful 29-yard pass from junior quarterback Bailey Hockman. Lane caught a 32-yard pass from Hockman with less than a minute left in the first half of the game, bringing MTSU's score up 21-7 before the third quarter. MTSU's defense was able to secure 2 more touchdowns before offensive quarterback Bailey Hockman threw a 6-yard pass to senior wide receiver CJ Wyndham. In total, Hockman was able to secure 3 touchdowns by the end of the night. Offense stayed strong until the clock ran out and Martell Pettaway was able to run 9 yards for the final touchdown of the night. Blue Raiders win 50-15. Senior running back Amir Razul spoke about the team's reception of the new offensive coordinator, Coach Brent Dearman.
And we're very receptive to Coach Dearman's installations to the offense. I think he brings a lot of explosiveness, and I guess he brought us the plays, and we make the plays explosive. And I feel as though the team looks extremely good on both sides.
Head coach Rick Stockstill spoke out on what the most important aspects of the game were this Saturday.
Thing is, the offense did not turn the ball over, and the defense created 4 takeaways. So when that happens, you got a good chance to win the game. So those things were all critical.
Next up for MTSU, an away game to Virginia Tech on Saturday. For MTN Sports, I'm Caroline Colvard.
So obviously that offensive firepower that MTSU brought to the table in week 1 was impressive to say the least. Obviously Bailey Hockman having 215 yards and then 3 scores through the air, and then Jalen Lane being on the receiving end of 2 of those scores, and then that huge 70-yard punt return. Nick, what does MTSU have to do to bring that momentum again here in week 2 against Virginia Tech?
Well, just keep playing backyard football at this point. I mean, the points they put up were ridiculous, and then you have this aspect of the Hokies. You just carry that momentum into week 2. There's no way they can stop them. If they play their cards right, MTSU has a chance at it.
I can completely agree with that because MTSU has seen a lot of changes both internally and externally. I was on the sidelines on Saturday and the energy was absolutely amazing. It's something that you need to see from a team. It's something that I believe that they can carry over as they go to Virginia Tech. And as well as that, Saturday there was a lot of history that was made for this MTSU team. There's also a lot of history that has formed a foundation for them as well that I think that they can carry over. So I think they've got the momentum for that one. But for now, we've got to take a quick break. So stay tuned for more on Blue Raider Extra Point.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
So many men and women that have served that expected to be able to have their tuition or certain assistance being given to them, and that money evaporated. With the establishment of the general fund is to make sure that all those men and women can get through MTSU and pursue what they thought they could do when they came on back.
We're extremely proud that the Predators have identified the need to help make this fund one of the best at our university for our veterans.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time for more Blue Raider Extra Point.
And welcome back, everybody. We're not going to hold you back any longer. Let's go ahead and send it over to Zachary Lone for this week's scouting report.
Best home field advantages in the country on Saturday. Virginia Tech is coming off a win in which they picked off the potential #1 overall pick, Sam Howell, 3 times, all of which came in the first half. This is important because the Hokies are 8-2 in their last 10 home games when they're leading at half. On the reverse side, the Blue Raiders are 0-9 in their previous 9 road games when they've been losing at the end of the first 2 quarters. Players to watch out for on the Virginia Tech Hokies is the dynamic trio of Braxton Burmeister, Raheem Blackshear, and Trey Turner. Burmeister went 12 of 19 through the air for 169 yards and a touchdown, but he also ran for 42 yards. The Hokies offense runs through him. His favorite 2 targets were Blackshear and Turner as they combined for 7 catches and 130 yards of the team's total passing attack. On MTSU's sideline, starting quarterback Bailey Hawkman is familiar with the Hokies during his time at conference rival North Carolina State. In his one start against the Hokies in Blacksburg, he went 7 of 16 for 82 yards and a touchdown. His experience could be a huge factor as Inner Standman starts playing once the Virginia Tech Hokies start running out. Keep your eye out for Blue Raider Jalen Lane. The freshman had 4 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown, and he also had the big momentum-swinging 70-yard punt return touchdown on Saturday. This Saturday, the Blue Raiders head into Lane Stadium looking to come out 2-0. Virginia Tech is 20-point favorite, so MTSU has their work cut out for them this weekend.
Thanks, Zachary. And now with his scouting report in mind, what are y'all's keys to succeed for MTSU this week?
Well, first off, I really need to see more of the run game from the Blue Raiders. They had -4 yards at halftime against Monmouth. That's not a good stat to have. My second key has to be you got to have more under routes, more slow play in the middle of the field, because Bailey Hawkman can't be throwing the ball left and right to the hashes. I mean, you got to throw it in the dead center of the field and open up play. And my third key, you have to have the defensive line make some more stunts up front, because that's just easy money for the offensive line for the Hokies. Like, all they're going to do is play base offensive line. That's it. You got to have more movement. Noah?
For me, my first pick is just keep the crowd out of it. Take the Hokies crowd out of it. You're coming into the stadium there in Virginia Tech, and you're gonna have fans just going crazy. Huge crowd, big Power 5 game for these guys. They're thinking they're just gonna run all over MTSU. They got to take the crowd out of it. No penalties early on. For my second takeaway, it's just set up the play action. We saw, like you said, Nick, the run game was not able to get started early enough against Monmouth. But if we can set that up early on and then set up the play action, that's going to be able to let MTSU have some dominance in the second half. And then finally, no turnovers. We've got to be able to hold on to the ball. If we're one-dimensional and all we're doing all game long is just throwing the football, we're setting ourselves up for disaster. We've got to establish the run, and we've got to hold on to the football.
I can agree with both of y'all's points that y'all have mentioned through your keys. However, my first key starts off very simple. Build. Build on to what you guys have already established, and that's been something huge. I mean, 50 points, it's not every day you see a football game that starts off the season with 50 points, and that goes back to Coach Dearman and the execution that they've been able to preach to this team. My second key, start strong. We've talked about a slow start, that's for sure. It got started all with Jalen Lane with that 70-yard return, so if you can get the points rolling, start that momentum, that's going to get everybody back into it, and you got to make sure that you're keeping communication within the team as well. My last key, finish strong. finish strong, because that's something that we've seen in years past, especially last season. They'll start off well, or they'll decide they don't want to play until, I don't know, halftime. And I think by that point, it's a little too late. We've seen a lot of, like I said, history being talked about earlier, and we're going to go back. They were able to score on offense, defense, and special teams. That's the first time that they've been able to do that since 2014. So going back to that first key, build upon it, finish strong, keep that momentum going, and MTSU is going to have themselves a time.
MTSU is going to need all three of their teams to show up, offense, defense, and special teams. That's what they're going to need to match Virginia Tech. We'll have more on Blue Raider Extra Point after this.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Blue Raider Extra Point. It is the best time of the show. It's time for the picks. I know y'all are new to this, so buckle up. We're going to go a little bit fast. I know I'm the pro, so don't get, too overwhelmed. Let's kick it off. Western Kentucky and Army.
I'm on this air raid offense with Western.
Yeah, Western Kentucky's never lost one of these matchups head-to-head with Army. I'm taking Western.
Western Kentucky and their offense, especially rolling through the quarterback. Western Kentucky. FAU, Georgia Southern.
Give me Georgia Southern. Run heavy. Give it to me.
Georgia Southern put up 500 yards of total offense last week. I'm taking Georgia Southern.
I hate to agree with you guys, but I'm going with Georgia Southern as well. Georgia and UAB.
And there's no question. Give me Georgia.
Yeah, UAB is going to give Georgia a little bit more trouble than we think, but I'm taking Georgia as well.
Give me UAB. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm going with Georgia for this one. UTSA and Lamar.
Give me the Roadrunners. They can do it. They're complete.
UTSA got a huge Big Ten win last week. I'm taking UTSA this week.
Roadrunners are rolling and they are running, so I'm going to run with them this week. Gardner-Webb and Charlotte.
I'm on Charlotte. I don't see anything about this Gardner-Webb team that appeases me.
Gardner-Webb's going to steal one. I'm calling Gardner-Webb in week 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Charlotte for this one. They've had a lot of success, and I think I can run with that one. NC Central and Marshall.
I'm on Marshall the whole way.
Yeah, NC Central, lack of offense last week. Give me Marshall.
The Thundering Herd and their offense that they have rolling, easy money for me. Houston and Rice.
I'm on Houston. They lost to Texas Tech real bad last week, and I know Rice lost to Arkansas, but hey, give me Houston.
Almost a huge upset for Rice. I think that motivation carries them into this week 2 matchup. I'm taking Rice.
Rice was so close, and they have the chip on their shoulder. They are ready to get that comeback victory. North Texas and SMU.
Give me the ponies, baby. Pony Express the whole way.
SMU's taken 33 out of 40 of these matchups in the past. I'm taking SMU. All
right, I don't like that our opinions are getting too similar, so I'm rocking with North Texas for this one. Just I always win, so don't feel afraid to change, Grambling State and Southern Miss.
Give me Southern Miss. Frank Gore Jr. That offense is going to start rolling here soon.
Like you said, Nick, offense explodes. I'm taking Southern Miss at home.
All it takes is one, and we saw that with Jalen Lane here in the past Saturday, so I will definitely go with there as well. Southeastern Louisiana and La Tech.
Give me La Tech. They lost a heartbreaker to Mississippi State. I'm on them.
I agree. La Tech definitely. They had Mississippi State on the ropes last week. I'm taking La Tech.
I'm going to trust my instinct and also former co-host Chase, so I'm rocking with La Tech. Hampton and Old Dominion.
This is one of those games Old Dominion can get upset, but I'm on Old Dominion this week.
Hampton's defense looked too good for me last week to not pick them this week. I'm going with Hampton.
I think I'm going to go with Hampton. This was one I kind of had to flip a coin before the show, so I'm going to rock with Hampton with Noah. Texas State, FIU.
I'm on FIU. I think Texas State could upset them, but I'm on FIU this week.
This one's not going to be close, Nick. I'm telling you, FIU's running away with this one. Huge, at least 30-point deficit.
I wouldn't go that far, but I will go FIU with you as well. This last one, I hope you're ready. Virginia Tech and MTSU.
As much as I want to be a homer with this pick, I just can't. I'm on Virginia Tech this week. I think if MTSU play their cards right, they can win this game, just like the Auburn-Jacksonville State game back in 2015.
All three units for the Blue Raiders are going to show up. You heard it here first. Blue Raiders are taking this one in Virginia Tech.
History is currently being made. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw this team going bowling. So in week 2, I've got MTSU.
Check out Blue Raider Extra Point on Instagram and Twitter.
Well, guys, unfortunately, that is all the time we have here for today. Make sure you tune in every Saturday morning at 10:30 and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We want to hear from you.
And if you missed this or any previous episode, you can find those on MiddleTennesseeNews.net. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a great rest of your weekend.
I can't believe you picked Gardner Webb.
Yeah,
so what? I think they're going to pull out the upset.
So what?
FIU by 30?
That is low. Are you okay?
Do you know math?
Do you know math?
Do you know math?
I love that everyone for you is like, give me this, give me that. Like, you're feeling very greedy. I need you to tone it down enough.
I just feel like I know.
We are not going to do it.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.